Greetings, everyone. This is Mike Wright, the Astro Sherpa, dropping in with the spatial report. Oh, this is a big one, folks. We're going to literally show you Father Time and how time is warped. Yeah, Jupiter in Taurus right here is sending out abundance of information about our world. And we're going to go exploring the past. We're going to look at obelisk, and we're going to look at the Earth from a new point of view. I'm going to take you up into space. Are you ready? Get your oxygen mask and take a deep breath. Relax. Yeah, tune in. We're going for a journey. I'm going to show you exactly how time is warped. I'm going to show you visible proof. Yeah, how would I know? Well, I pay attention and I look at things and I make mistakes. So I do my best to correct them. So the people who made our time system have done their best to make an accurate measurement of time. So right now, our clock, we have 1:03. So we are on leap time, or yeah, we've sprung ahead. So we are on the old real-time system of high noon, 12 o'clock. So the sun would be right on the midheaven here. That's the peak point of the sun's path on the ecliptic. So we measure that. That's the peak moment where the sun leaves its morning cycle, what we call AM, the anti-meridian. So it's reached from midnight, 1/2, comes to 6 hours. This is daybreak. And then from then to high noon, approximately 6 hours. Now this expands, and I'm going to show you why. It shrinks and expands. So the sun right now is still a few degrees, arc minutes away from the true midheaven. So that means if we adjusted our clock back to 12:05, the sun still hasn't reached its peak yet. So we're missing, time. That's another 10, 15 minutes. That time has, we're not on that right same frequency. So this is something you need to understand. So real time is us understanding our reactions of the hormonal cycles we're in every day. So that's the pattern of the moon, Taurus, our physical senses, what we see, hear, feel, touch, taste. So Uranus, this is the central nervous system in your body, is your power plant, the electrical energy centers, and all the loops and logic, patterns that it sends out to energize the body. So the blood is what sends this energy down into the external parts of your body to renew the cells. So power and energy, two separate things. We take in power through the earth, Taurus. We get power from the mother, earth, and our mother nurtures us. The father is the solar principle, the light. So this is at its peak moment coming up. So let's show you here our little experiment, and we're going to look at obelisk and the power these things had. So I'm going to set this up, and I got to tilt this a little bit just to show you these patterns. So I'm looking at due south. There's good old Solus. So on our clock, we're at, let's update this sucker. So 107. Now that shadow is still slightly, see that angle? And even the lines in the window show us a good example too. So at high noon, the sun, that line would be straight towards us. So you can see the tip of the obelisk. Okay, that's the pyramidal shape, and I've showed you that in a previous video of how that creates our dimensions. So power transmitted and received, these were antennas and receivers. So they picked up the resonant energy and brought it into the earth, or transmitted it from, and there was huge aquifers of water underneath these platforms, so they could transmit a frequency outwards and upwards to the heavens. So ancient cultures built all their structures in tune and harmony with the outer world. So this is the new dimension I'm going to show you. Why time is warped. So we're still not at true noon yet, but yet the clock with leap hour says, you know, about 1:10 now. So we're missing like 10 minutes is warped. So when the earth spins faster, the globe widens out. So earth almost starts to flatten out. And there's actually been experiments where they add another dimensional plane to the earth, and it actually collapses down totally flat when it spins. But that's nothing we have to be concerned about. We're here to comprehend fifth and sixth dimension now. Fourth dimension is right here. This is what fourth dimension understanding is your time, space, the measurement of where you are. And there's actually a little tiny simple formula, I'm not going to give it to you, that shows you the whole equation. One little tiny equation, it's amazing. We'll show you your exact place in time space. But that's your journey to figure out and understand. So by using lines and their shadows, we can do measurements and angles. So if I use this as the equator, 1 degree from here to here of arc minutes is the same as 1 degree from here to here, because the earth is curved. It's a globe, not flat. Fucking morons. So what is flat is our dimensional perception. That is flat, but you are seeing it in a cube format, 3D. Hey, whoa. So the beauty of the human being is look at that. We can rotate sideways, forwards. I can push myself up, down. I mean, that is extraordinary movement. And if you've ever heard of a gimbal camera, this was based on an equation by Euler's law. They literally created the camera eye that could rotate in all the 12 dimensions. So people, your mind's gonna be blown when you start to understand the old time parameters you grew up under is totally warped. So you ready to go to space? Yeah, that's the next part of our journey. So let's show you space. We're gonna take it and show you. Okay, before we do that, so the sun is now within like 2 minutes. So that's 2 degrees, or actually it's about 1 degree and some change. So 1 degree, we do 60 arc minutes, and then that's broken down into 60 arc seconds in the tertiary formula. So we have primary, secondary. Most people do not see the tertiary number. Primary, secondary. So these 2 degree numbers have significance. So this number is the vibrational frequency pattern we're in the range of Leo. So the heart frequency range, we're getting these vibrational frequency numbers. 1 and 4 adds up to a 5. So in the next dimensional level, numbers go from even to odd, or odd to even. So if I'm just counting 0 to 9, an odd is an odd and an even is an even. But when we go to the next level, when you add base 10 and I start the 0 to 9 again, this is the frequencies are opposite. So an 11 is actually a 2, the feminine. 11, 2 ones is the feminine nature. So that's why feminine nature coalesces together, ones. Okay? That's how nature operates. So the odd number, odd, 2 and 3, so that's an even and an odd number. Venus is meeting up Black Moon Lilith, so this is our unbridled passions, the dark point of the moon, like, this fear of the feminine not getting what it truly wants, which is recognition, to be noticed, be attractive, to be appreciated, to understand that they are expressing themselves the way they were intended from their inner self all the way outwards. But somebody clipped their wings, clipped their leaves, poisoned their roots, hacked their trunk, just urinated on them, whatever. Just treated these poor, beautiful trees of life like crap. So the feminine nature has to really take a hard look at how it generates energy. So for the last 40 years, the Capricorn structure, which was the old patriarchal power structure, the mountain, climbing the mountain, hard work, do it by the rules, progress, forward, overcome any obstacle, destroy the competition. The feminine nature is magnetic, means it's a spiral that comes to you. So that's not that energy at all. So the power of attraction is to be in the right place at the right time in a receptive state. It doesn't mean being lazy and inactive. It means being attractive. And that comes in many diverse shapes, forms, and colors, and combinations thereof. It's all beautiful. You just have to take a moment and gaze in awe at how nature has created all this. So when we break stuff, the ones, 1 and 1, we put it together. That 1 plus 1's a 2, but no, we got ones and ones really a dimensional 11. I love something else, or I love some more. So it's the way you crank up your frequency. If you love yourself first, then you can certainly love more. You're super attractive. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you see in the mirror. This is your time to shine. Own your heart space and clear out the toxic clutter, which is old emotional baggage, wounded from your home and family roots, maybe not having home and family, maybe you're adopted, you don't know where your roots are. It doesn't matter. That has all dissolved or is being dissolved right now. We're going into this Aquarian age. Pluto is just taking those back down to the underworld. Those who don't own their own power. You were born with a kingdom. You just have to grow up and learn to rule it. Right here, that's the king. You're looking at the king. King of Kings. So the solar principle has to have the lunar principle to reflect off. The nurturing feminine space, the mother. Mars is the warrior and can be feminine or masculine. It doesn't matter. That's just the tip of the spear. Those willing to stand out front and push forward. Jump off the boat and face the darkness. Mercury's your navigator. So Mercury has to go into some dark, shady places sometimes. So we don't run the ship or the boat or the caravan off the trail. Folks, this is a navigational tool. And I ran into somebody today and I was like looking at their energy field and I'm like, blah, blah, blah. He's like, no, you're wrong. I'm Sagittarius. He said, I don't believe in this stuff. And I laughed. I was like, Sagittarius is beliefs. The shadow is you have to have the knowing, understanding. Gemini, supporting your beliefs. That's Sagittarius's shadow. Is if they don't have the supporting facts and knowledge, they can't believe it. But their problem, that's their animal nature tied back to the horse part of themselves, the centaur nature, which is tied to Taurus, this old world, animal nature. So these people, when they aim for something, they get it, but they have to release their, they just have to know and forget about their belief. They just know and aim and it goes. So when you trust, that's the bridge through the door of Gemini. Gemini, if you're on this side of the door looking this way and you feel good, that side looks dark and ugly. But if you're on the dark and ugly side and you're looking through the door on the other side, it's all green. Grass is greener over here. But guess what? That's the same. It's just which side, which twin you pull out. Which one are you gonna be? So, folks, this moon started its spiritual path through Aries, freshly renewed. As its light diminishes, this is us looking deep, deep, deep down into your past. Scorpio is transforming your old pains. Those are your ancestral wounds. So that's those people's spiritual nature still hanging on to you. So the spiritual pattern runs through generations. So to be free of that, you quit wounding yourself over and over, repeating the same pattern. Chiron, the wounded healer, comes through here every 50 years approximately into Aries. And that's this new awakening. And for most, I noticed this for people who have Chiron returns, this is the stage where they leave behind the wounded ego life and come into the second half of their life more spiritual and able to heal others. And most feminine go through their feminine change right when this Chiron return happens. So I picked up on that, but this is people's gender and identity wounds and shame. The fog machine down here is playing out every story. All these old things are just coming through and people are reflecting their old shame and wounds. These old dreams, maybe in a past life they were another gender and they woke up in this life and they're stuck in a body that's not that. So this is you tuning into the power and awareness of time, space, and how you project from your root structure, which should be power centered from the earth. And then we can project to the higher next dimension. We can resonate from that tip. From that tip, that's the most powerful point to the next dimension. No joke. So as you see, the shadows have now moved. Okay, when we were looking at it before, that shadow was over here. So as the sun moves, that shows us the opposite angle. So that's why angles and lines show us a lot of stuff. Light flows in harmonious angles, 120 degrees, 60 degrees. You know, they reflect on 45 and 90 degree angles. So squares, you know, were considered ugly containment units, prisons. So we're a globe, and we're going to show you that space. Sorry, got off on a tangent. But there's the Earth. So the equator right here, the Earth is slightly a little bit wider because we spin on the axis. Okay? Let me see if we can get it spinning. So that's caused by the radiant energy from the sun charging the magnetic field. And we have the North Pole. So one flow of energy comes this way and down to the South Pole, and then goes back up the center of the Earth. And then there's a whole nother current over here that goes this way and comes back to the South Pole. Poof. So time flows from the north down this way, and power from west to east. East to west. So as the sun rises, goes overhead, peaks. So this Earth would be tilted. Oh, I'm going to show y'all a secret too, okay? Y'all get to see all kinds of great dimensional. So thanks for dimension hopping with me today and tomorrow or yesterday or whenever you look at this. So let's look at Antarctica. This is the South Pole. So the reason the South Pole has ice on it is because the exchanging currents of those two flows of magnetic energy, the immense exchange of heat to cold creates ice, cold. So the South Pole, there's actually, let's look down here and see if we can see the hidden pyramids. Yeah, oh, they literally, this is that Murdo station. There's a giant, massive pyramidal structure here. And you can look at it on Google Earth. It's a little better, but there's a little bit of evidence right in here. But folks, there is a massive pyramid structure, and it's real. It's being documented. It has like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of rooms in it. So there's a massive lake, freshwater lake in Antarctica, way down underneath. Folks, there's a lot of things going on down here we don't know. So this alien stuff, that stuff's been around a long time. This globe we're in, this is protected. This is a protected space, okay? But outside of this globe, a whole nother story. Okay? So there you go, dimension hopping, understanding true noon, where you are in space-time. So in this chart, another important point of view would be where the moon's ecliptic and where we are from the center. This is called the vertex point. And that's a whole nother massive circle. It has an anti-vertex point, so a whole nother circle. So folks, you're just looking at this in a 2D image, but it's multi-dimensional. Anyway, keep tuning in, tune up, and participate. Participate means discover yourself physically. Learn your body. Learn all what makes up your body, what processes food, what heals you, what charges you up, the centers that exchange energy. These are all important factors, that were glossed over when you were younger. Literally, taught in all the wrong ways. So Leo is tuning up the heart. Love yourself. Any way you go, I hope you're well. Astro Sherpa out.